Good evening, folks, and welcome to episode 017, New Year's edition recap episode of Bumtalk. My name is Jay Bums, along with my younger brother,
Danny Bums,
and we have a whole lot to cover before the end of the year, which is in about 6 hours. I'll cover some fights that happened last week, this week, and obviously an award show at the end. But this is a little mascot. But we're going to start with today's fight. There was a fight today, New Year's Eve, in Japan. Rizin 14 had a show earlier here because it's already New Year's over there in Japan. It was Rizin 14, headlined by two good matches. We can do co-main event first or main event first?
Main event, we had Floyd Mayweather in an exhibition match versus Tenshin. He's one of Rizin's biggest stars. And it's a three-round exhibition fight. 3 rounds, 3 minutes, 9 minutes. There's no judges. There was just a ref because no one's going to win. But the match ended very, very, very quickly.
It's already on Instagram.
It's all over Instagram.
Yeah.
As you can see, that
Happened
pretty much
this morning.
summers up. You can see Tenshin on the floor over there. He got knocked down 3 times.
In the first round, right?
In the first round.
He got
There's still like a minute left in the fight. And it's crazy because... And this is why weight classes are so important, because this guy fights like at 122 pounds. And he was
kickboxing,
and he was going up to 147. He actually only made it to 137.
Really?
So that's why just Floyd touching him and he went straight down
to the floor.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, Floyd walked away with a lot of money. And
so it's not officially, but I guess for the match he made $9 million. I guess that's not including endorsements and whatever kind of deals there. So he basically made for a 9-minute match he made $1 million per minute.
He actually just boxed for 2 minutes.
Played for 2 minutes. And then the co-main event, which is pretty big, it's a Kyoji Horiguchi, who challenged Mighty Mouse back in 2015 for the flyweight title. He left back to Rizin,
Darian Caldwell,
who is the current Bellator bantamweight champion. So he was challenging
135.
Yeah, he was challenging for the inaugural Rizin bantamweight championship. Had he won, which he didn't, he lost via submission guillotine choke. He would have been the only current MMA fighter to be champs in 2 different promotions. But he didn't. Kyoji Horiguchi won the title, so he's the current bantamweight champion for Rizin. So congrats for him. But yeah, Rizin always does these shows every New Year's Eve. They've done it for the past couple of years. Fedor won the Grand Prix for heavyweight a couple years ago. But they always do these Grand Prix every kick off the New Year's. There's even a show tonight across the river. PFL, 6 fights.
That's not a Rizin show.
Yeah, but it's a New Year's tradition show. But yeah. I mean, like easy money for Floyd. I think $9 million, in the pocket. And then whatever he gets paid from,
So we were talking about Darian Caldwell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so good for him. He tried. He would have been champion 2 different promotions. I was rooting for him. But, yeah.
Yeah, and the guy that won actually used to fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
And he was beaten by DJ.
Yeah, like in the last second or two in the 5th round, too.
So it's crazy. It tells you, like, the level of UFC is over against the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The fact that the Bellator guy lost to someone. The Bellator
Darren Caldwell
lost to someone who's lost to
submission via guillotine.
Tells you that's why I think Mighty Mouse and Eddie are gonna make a lot of noise over there.
Yeah, in a few weeks.
Win those I imagine
they win the Grand Prix for
Actually, you know what? I don't know. I feel like if anyone's gonna struggle out of the 2, it's gonna be Eddie.
You mean this guy?
Yeah. Yeah, that guy.
Edward. Their fight's already finalized.
For March.
Yeah, for March. Yeah, I guess when the Grand Prix picks up.
Because, Eddie's nah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but nah. Like DJ, he lost that on the decision, and that was very by
close.
A whim.
Yeah, razor thin.
They should have ran that back, but they had other plans.
Yeah, the trade went through.
But yeah, I imagine DJ is gonna do really good over there.
Easily, yeah. And
I don't know. We'll see.
And we'll see.
But great for Edward if he wins.
Yeah, and then Norco's making his debut, but he's not part of the Grand Prix for the lightweight title. So we'll see what happens.
He's not at 177, 170.
Well, he fights at both, but we'll see what happens. He's undefeated, obviously, at lightweight. He lost 2 fights at welterweight, one being to Mickey Gall. So we'll see what happens. He's fighting soon, I think in March, you're saying, also.
Right.
And then, obviously, you guys know, One Championship has a TV deal in the United States with TNT, which I believe kicks off 26th of January, or the last week in January. Yeah, so good for him, good for them, and obviously there's a new era for MMA in general. ESPN, UFC obviously started officially today. Today starts today with the Ariel Knowles Award show.
So we have our own show today. Yeah. This is going to be the trophies. Whoever wins we have some nominees, some categories. No, just winners. We just some nominees. But so just some honorable mentions. Even though
it's a Monday, there's still pretty big, obviously, with Floyd fighting tonight.
You know what? You can't even forget there's Raw tonight.
Oh yeah, tape delay. Yeah, it was recorded over the weekend. They had a show, I think, Saturday night, I believe. So I mean, we'll watch some of it, of course. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's been leaks already because it's tape delayed. John Cena was there, I think.
Well, that's SmackDown.
SmackDown, there you go. Yeah, Becky Lynch show. We'll see what happens. But I do know that next Monday, John Cena, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar are supposed to be Monday Night Raw live.
Insane.
So we'll see what happens.
Can't wait for that.
Fun. But no WWE this week. Well, the past 2 weeks have been tape delayed, so whatever.
And no boxing this week that I know of. Nothing big.
Yeah. It was just
last weekend was pretty.
December 22nd.
Lit. It's probably the last weekend of boxing for this year. Last week, yeah.
Yeah, December 22nd. Yeah.
We had like four fights that I don't want to talk about.
But yeah, we have a lot. So you want to start with this weekend, this Saturday night, the last UFC event of the year, the second
biggest of the year,
the last Fox UFC card ever related to for the prelims. They're all done. It was UFC 232 live from the mess. This was last Monday was supposed to be at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and by I think Wednesday or Thursday the Forum in Inglewood, California.
Yeah.
So. The whole debacle the whole week with John Jones.
Yeah.
The pictogram, whatever you want to call that. Picogram, whatever. Pokemon, picogram. Nowitzki, the VP of UFC, he's been also on the news the whole week. Even the pre-fight conference, media conference and everything, with people asking questions, about the banned substance, why is he fighting, all that stuff. So it was just, the whole week was just a big old mess. I think just you saw John Jones, like, bad journalism. Sit down.
Yeah, it was a good card, and we saw not the return, but I guess to the big lights, Chad Mendes.
That's right, came back,
and his return was just like
short-lived.
Yeah, You can tell there's this generation of fighters, man, and they come every 2-3 years with UFC. Every 2-3 years is a new wave.
A new breed, yeah.
Yeah. And he was part of the past. He's part of the Aldo,
Edgar Swanson.
Edgar, yeah.
Yeah. Old school guys. Yeah, the old school guys, yeah.
He graduated from that, and I've always believed that. But yeah, he lost. Really competitive fight too.
It was.
And I'm glad that guy gets to move up now.
I think he was an Australian guy. I can't pronounce his name.
So
just knocked him out, and you saw he just literally just fought.
You also saw Mike Chiesa win his welterweight debut against the legend Carlos Condit. You know who he called out?
Who?
The biggest gatekeeper in the welterweight division. Who's that?
Biggest gatekeeper.
The guy everyone goes to get serious.
Colby?
No. What kind of question is that? What kind of answer is that? He's like a guy that really welcomes you into it. How are you going to say Colby? He's like this #1 ranked. What are you saying? Neil Magny.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good guy. He's like...
Come on.
That's a good fight for him. Two tall guys, because Michael Chiesa was a small lightweight. That's a good fight.
That's how RDA got put on.
Yeah, he
finished him in the first round.
Yeah, he beat him, then he beat RDA, and then he beat Robbie Lawler, and then obviously, what happened with him.
He lost twice in 2018.
Yeah, he just fought too. I forgot to Usman. But, yeah, so obviously... And
then we had that stupid light heavyweight bout that was so boring that
Latifi
I did not care
about.
We
were just bored. We had a bar. We're just like, it was very dull. But Latifi almost got dropped a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure the UFC's happy with that, because that slows down the train, and the Latifi train.
It does, yeah. So because
that gives Lionheart more of a
ammo, or or
no,
push.
more of a stance for fighting John if John doesn't fight Cormier.
Yep.
Yeah. So in the co-main event, we had arguably the greatest fight, the greatest two females in MMA history
Ever.
going at it
Mhm.
ever, and it was insane, man.
Surprise.
That moment was crazy. It reminded me of like the shock value of not 229, but it reminded me of 196.
March 2016, 3 years ago.
When Nate beat Connor, it was just like, actually nothing can top that.
Yeah,
But it was
UFC
just,
196 forever.
This was right off the bat, like 50 seconds in, the fight is over.
Yeah.
But for the first time ever,
Cyborg.
no, but she's lost before.
Yeah, but that thing has been like 12 years or something. I
13
forget.
years.
There you go, 13, yeah.
Amanda Nunes, man.
Amanda Nunes.
Amanda
The greatest woman's...
She
MMA.
slept. She slept Chris Cyborg in the first round.
Yep. And she took shots
my
a couple times. She took a couple shots to the face.
Yeah, it was insane. You know what I noticed, man? I saw this post. I'm like, you ever see any champ fight in the history of the UFC has been put away?
Has been put away?
Has been like a mauling.
Yeah.
Even with the Bellator one this year.
Oh yeah. Gegard just mauled this guy, Rory. Cormier, he mauled Stipe.
McGregor, Alvarez.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
GSP when he destroyed BJ Penn.
No fight has gone the distance or past first second round, to say at least. That's true. That's a good point. Think about that.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes, man, that was insane.
I
did not expect that either.
Mm-hmm. I was surprised.
I thought Cyborg was just on a whole nother, but she was just so much bigger and stronger and just
naturally.
You know what the thing though? If you think about it, I'm not too surprised because Amanda's fought more competition.
Yes.
In the UFC,
especially with Valentina twice.
The only real fight that Cyborg's had is Holly Holm.
Yeah.
But then again, she's killed everyone. She's a shredder. I mean, so I would still, but I don't know. I don't know. That was. I feel like I wouldn't want to see a rematch because that I don't see that fight going any other way. Like just Amanda's experience, and maybe Amanda has more experience because she fought at 200. She fought Ronda Rousey. She's
more active. Headlining.
She's headlined on other cards, like 207.
When Ronda came back, she beat Misha Tate, like you mentioned.
She headlined 229 or some shit. She headlined
224. Yeah, Raquel Pennington. Yeah.
No, and then last fall, I think she
September. Yeah.
Last September of 2017.
She fought Valentina.
So she just has that. I don't know. I just felt like if you think about it that way, because remember, UFC is the elite. It's the highest level. So she's always has more experience. Technically, she does have more experience. Not just that. The people that that this girl have fought have been like call-ups from Invicta.
Yeah, Megan Anderson. The first girl she fought, Evan.
She
whatever.
fought Megan Anderson. Cyborg fought Megan Anderson.
She fought a couple of nobodies. Yeah, Evan.
She didn't fight Megan Anderson.
All right, whatever. She fought a bunch of nobodies. Her first biggest fight was last year against Holly Holm last December.
Yeah, that was and I won the distance.
And then she went in.
And it was pretty not competitive, but.
And then she fought back in March against someone I have no idea who she was.
Yeah, call up. I think I don't even know.
So that was basically her first big match last December against, and that went the distance. But even Cyber dominated that fight. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens now. I mean. Featherweight division is kind of a mess because there isn't official rankings for the featherweight division. It's just been like just regular names.
I figured that the winner of that other featherweight bout that happened at 232 would have fought Cyborg had she won, but I'm pretty sure man has already beat those people at 135. Why would
Oh yeah. So
I think the fight to make now is against Holly Holm. Should she get next? Should she get past
her next fight? I think.
And the question now is if she gets past her, whether she want to fight a man at 145, because she can do both. We've seen her do both.
You know who else? It's also a dark horse candidate, Jermaine Durand. She's I believe she's number 2 candidate.
But I think she's lost to Amanda.
Yes, and
that's why Amanda's the GOAT. But I'd love to see that again.
I believe Jermaine's either number 2 or 3 in the bantamweight rankings. I forgot her official.
Yeah, Jermaine just beat up Raquel Pennington.
Yeah, remember?
That'd be great.
So maybe Jermaine's the next in line. So I think it's between Jermaine or Holly, one of those two.
For Amanda.
Yeah, because
at either weight classes, I don't know.
And obviously, you guys know that Jermaine fought Holly Holm.
I'd still like to see Jermaine versus Holly.
Yeah, because
Cyborg.
Yeah, good match. Yeah, because they're both naturally bigger people. Yeah, they're Jermaine's fought featherweight before. But that's a good match. But yeah, I would think either Jermaine or Holly will be next for Amanda. But Amanda Nunes is the best. You know, I've mentioned a couple times. She's fought Tate. She beat her.
No,
she beat Ronda Rousey.
Cyborg, I said.
Yeah. But she's back to Amanda. She's just dominating everyone. Ronda.
Yeah.
Tate.
She is something.
Cyborg.
Else, I love her. I'm happy for her.
Yeah, she dominated Raquel Pennington. I mean, I'm not saying Pennington's elite, but she dominated her. Even against Valentina, you know, I mean, I think that's probably like her best rivalry ever because they fought twice. The last one was a split decision, like you said. The first time could have gone anyway, but who knows? I honestly would like to see as a pipe dream. I want to see Valentina fight Amanda again, but that may not happen, or at least anytime soon, because obviously Valentina is the 125 champion, the flyweight champion. So unless she goes down to 125 and becomes champ.
Imagine, that'd be amazing.
That'd be crazy. Or unless
she can't be Amanda. Or she can't be Valentina.
Yeah, or Valentina goes to
125.
If Valentina goes to 135, challenge for the 135 belt.
Which would win part 3, and no one wants to see that.
Yeah, I want to see that. And then maybe Valentina could have been champ. But we'll see. Like the women's divisions, see, this is the effect I think Ronda Rousey had. Like once Ronda left, it eliminated a lot of fighters. Like the women's division is very, very, I think, thin of superstars.
What do you mean eliminate? It created Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, but it's just them two. That's it. There's no one. I mean, I guess no one. I mean, I guess Jermaine's probably the next in line. Like I said, Raquel obviously lost again. Raquel fought in Nunes, and she fought Jermaine. I think in November, October, if I remember. So I think that's
crazy.
Yeah, and then obviously in the lighter weight classes, 115, 125, you have obviously.
It's crazy because I also read that Cyborg's contract ends next March or something.
Ooh, okay. I mean, I'm sure the UFC will try to re-sign her.
Maybe she should go Bellator and win a title there. Do they have 145 over there?
No, they only have 125 flyweight. They don't have a women's bantamweight champion. They only have flyweight. Maybe, yeah. I that I know of. I think just 125 Bellator.
And in the main event,
yes.
we had the sequel to arguably one of the greatest UFC fights of all time.
5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been over 5 years to the day. We had John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson Part 2 for the vacant light heavyweight title, 205. Yeah. The fight was not nearly as entertaining as the first one.
And didn't go the distance like the first one.
John Jones won. What else you expect? Just like with Valentina and Amanda, I don't want to see a part 3 because John said, he goes, I'd love to fight him again.
He said that?
Yeah. So I think on the Fox Fox interview, he did.
Maybe he meant that like when that pictogram leads his bodygram was to fight him.
Yeah, I guess to prove it. I don't know.
Yeah, but like Danny Bones mentioned, it wasn't as entertaining as the first one because we actually saw it last week. I think when I came home for lunch, the fight was on TV. It was very. I mean, I caught like the last 2 rounds, very entertaining with the grappling and the elbow strikes. But this match was nothing compared to the first one. You can ask anybody. But I believe it ended in the second round, right? Via
third.
Okay, yeah.
TKO.
Yeah, because he was taking just massive headshots.
The back of the head.
Yeah. He was defenseless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens now? Obviously, the world, including myself, wants to see a part 3 with Cormier. Whether at heavyweight or light heavyweight, I have no idea what the UFC wants to do. If that's not the case, then especially after that post-fight interview in Fox, Lionheart's the guy to go.
Probably because obviously.
Do I think Lionheart stands? No, I don't think he'll do much.
Nah.
The guy does have 13 losses. So I don't know.
So we'll see. But obviously, money team and stuff. Cormier wanted to retire originally by March, but the ball's in his court right now. So I think he can decide what he wants to do next. Will he go down and fight Jones one more time? Will he defend his heavyweight title? Will he fight Stipe? Will he fight Brock Lesnar? So the ball's in his court. So Cormier has 3 options: fight Jones at 205, wait for Brock Lesnar. Who knows when he comes back? Because Dana White said, I think during the post fight, he's not sure. About
no. I know for a fact that it wouldn't be fair to actually, I don't know if it's not Lesnar a heavyweight. If it's a heavyweight, it has to be Stipe.
Has to be Stipe. I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree. But obviously, you heard that Cormier wanted to retire next year. He said, I think by March, but obviously March is right on the corner, so I doubt that's true. So maybe 2 fights. We'll see.
According to Dana, he texted him that night. He goes, like, I'm ready to go.
There you go.
He wants to fight.
So
I mean, he didn't say who. He wants to fight.
I would think if it makes sense now, if I was Cormier, fight Steve, because Brock Lesnar, you never know when it's going to happen.
We don't even know what's going to happen because he's rarely committed. Not really. He's never really committed to WWE because he's never there.
Yeah.
But he's going to be there, next week? Well, he does have to promote Royal Rumble.
So at least you know that. And, so you figure that Brock will be busy up until WrestleMania. Because the rumor right now is just that he's gonna wrestle Seth Rollins, but things gonna change. But you figure he'll be busy up until WrestleMania.
Because he can't do a training camp in between all that.
Yeah, and obviously it's right here in New York City, so
unless if he drops it,
then I would think
at Royal Rumble, that would make sense. If he drops the title Royal Rumble,
I think it makes more sense.
He's not fighting.
I think
because he needs to be at WrestleMania.
So if it makes ideally sense, right? I think Brock goes up into WrestleMania, which is April 7th, loses to Seth Rollins, or whoever the challenger is, and then he'll get ready for that, because July is always a big UFC month all the time. So
which is when they want John back. So
which that's kind of the timeline for I think for John and also for Brock Lesnar, because July's always been a big UFC month almost every year. So if it all makes sense, it would be that Brock would drop the title at WrestleMania to whoever it is, and then obviously that gives him ample time to train for the July card, or maybe even August, I don't know. Or like you said, John said he wants to come back in the summer too, so, I mean, like I said, it could be John's versus Lionheart, and then it can be, Lesnar versus Cormier, so it could be, like a doubleheader card. I'm just,
Yeah, we don't
know.
I don't think they'd ever make John Jones at a co-main event only to like Conor McGregor, so I don't think they'd do that.
So like I said, the ball's definitely in Cormier's court, and obviously Brock Lesnar, he always has the ball in his court, so he decides when he wants to move. So, like I said, but to me, if I figure Brock will leave right after WrestleMania if he loses the belt in April, which gives him time to train. But yeah, that's about it for the UFC. They're off for a few weeks. They come back on ESPN Plus January 19th at the Barclays Center.
with that super fight between those guys.
Yeah.
Those guys. There you go, I think.
So yeah, it's enough about UFC. We did obviously Rizin, and we did what else? We did I guess the award show's next, right?
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, the award show of this year for the 2018 MMA Wrestling Awards. We talked about it last night, today before the show.
I mean, there was no boxing. There was some boxing last week. I'll go over it really quickly.
Oh yeah, the Fox card.
We had in England. We had Eddie Hearn versus Frank Warren going at it. You can tell they hate each other because they both had really big fights.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie had White versus Chisora Part 2. As expected, White won. He knocked him out in the 11th round.
Oh, towards the end.
Yeah, so again, I'll say it again. If Wilder isn't in guy in April, I'm pretty sure it's going to be White. Then we also had we had like a fight at 126. Carl Frampton, who's considered one of the best Irish boxer. I don't know about now. He has 2 losses. He was going to regain one of the world titles at 126.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually lost to some, I think his name is Harrington. He's undefeated guy. So that kind of puts the mega fight rematch with Leo Santa Cruz. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. But there's a solidified name at 126, and that Josh Warrington guy, so then we had that. The 2 UK fights, and then we had the first PBC on Fox, which was the headline by the Charlo brothers.
Co-main event.
Yeah, and in the co-main event, the one Charlo that's champion at 154 actually lost. UD.
What did this
to Tony Harrison? So, which is freaking crazy. And then in the main event, the brother that has the interim 160-pound belt, he retained his title.
WBC, right?
Yeah. Canelo has the real one.
Yeah, so.
Boggles my mind why they. Anyways, it's crazy. And so now the champions at 154 are Jared Hurd. He has 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Jaime Munguia, and then we have Tony Harrison. And you know what's crazy? You know who this Tony Harrison? You know who his last loss was to?
Who?
Jarrett Hurd.
Jarrett Hurd. So maybe they'll fight for unification
So I'm
bouts.
sure Jarrett Hurd wants to fight that guy so badly because he knows he can beat him and he can take another belt and he'll have 3.
And then maybe he'll fight Muniga eventually.
Yeah, if they're able to cross platforms like that. Muniga is crazy, man.
Yeah.
He beat
It was recently, right? He's
got a good resume.
Canelo undercard.
He's
He's
he
making
beat
his
Liam Smith and he beat the Salam Lee. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and he's making his debut zone, I think in January, is it, or March? February?
yeah, January.
Yeah.
So I think with Chris Algieri as well too. So that was it for boxing. Last week was a pretty exciting weekend for boxing.
Yeah, this week there's not. Just like I said, the biggest thing was obviously UFC 232 over the weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna do our Bum Award show.
Bum Awards.
And the winners of our categories will receive one of these Kylo Rens. So we're gonna start off with, what should we start off with? Should we start with fighters, or should we start with let's start with some. Want to start with pro wrestling?
Yeah, since it wasn't a pro wrestling episode, so let's do that. Let's talk about the
What do you want to do first?
Let's go with WWE Male Superstar of the Year.
Okay. I think me and my brother kind of both disagreed on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of did make sense. I had other names, but the contenders were people like our nominees are like Brock Lesnar,
obviously,
AJ Styles,
Roman Reigns, always in the picture.
Seth Rollins. But I guess it made sense to give it to winner for the Bumtalk for the
WWE Male Superstar of the Year.
No, Bum Wrestler of the Year.
Bum Wrestler of the Year.
Male Wrestler of the Year goes to the one and only, the only short-held champ.
That's right, Seth
frickin' Rollins.
That's right.
He's an architect that wants to burn it down.
And just to run some couple accolades this year, like I said, he was champ for maybe about, I don't know, a week or two, give or less.
Yeah, because he was Intercontinental and Raw champion.
Yeah.
He has the most Raw wins?
35.
He also had that gauntlet Iron
an
Man
hour and
match
6 minutes,
which was
you saw, I think, that
yeah,
episode.
it was leading up to WrestleMania. I was like,
hour and 6.
I'm like, what am I watching? I'm like, this guy is on steroids.
And then he had that 30-minute Iron Man match with Dolph Ziggler and Extreme Rules too.
Yeah, I don't even know how that went.
No, yeah.
Forgot the result. Why did I thought Brock Lesnar? Because he retained that WrestleMania.
Everyone was surprised at that. Like,
and then he won a title again.
Yeah, because obviously Roman Reigns had to relinquish the title.
Another one was AJ Styles because he had so many title defenses and he went all the way till October of this year. But it made right to, and obviously Daniel Bryan coming back, winning a WrestleMania, winning a title against the one and only AJ Styles.
Yeah.
It made sense, but I guess, and not just that, why not? Rollins is also, he's rumored to headline WrestleMania.
Yeah, fight Seth Rollins. Let me fight Brock Lesnar.
So congratulations, Rollins.
Congrats,
Here
Seth
you
Rollins.
go.
He's not here at the moment, so he can't give a speech, unfortunately.
He can't give us a speech, but here you go. This is your trophy. It'll be waiting for you here.
All right. So since we're doing WWE, now we're going to the lady side, the female side. WWE Female Bum Superstar of the Year.
One, I think no one else should receive it. I mean, there's I think
contenders, but I guess you know what I thought about Danny Bones is correct. So I'm gonna agree with this one, Danny Bones. I thought about it a couple minutes ago before the episode. So fair to say, enough.
The Bum Award for Best Female Wrestler of 2018 goes to the one and only Ronda Rousey, the Raw Women's Champion,
who's the first woman to be inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. If that that adds anything to her accolades. And
along with Brock Lesnar, she's the only two-sport world champion.
Yeah,
and MMA and professional wrestling.
And currently on Raw, they're both champions. So
you know what? I think I said this at a Bum Talk episode. I'm like, how crazy would it be? Like, go back to November. Let's all go back to Survivor Series this year, right?
2017.
This year.
Is it? Oh, it's the last one.
Let's look at. Imagine a UFC pay-per-view where you had Brock Lesnar's the main event and Ronda's the co. That's what WWE did.
Yeah, basically, right? That's what they did, and it was only $10 a month.
That's how crazy is that?
That is true. You're right. Yeah, if you look at it in hindsight, you're right. That's what WWE did. Well, UFC could never do.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane. Ronda Rousey,
undefeated.
Yeah, she's
Hasn't lost.
Yeah, she's had. Usually, I don't even think women go this long as champions because they're always drop. They drop. How many times has like Sasha Banks and Charlotte been champs?
Yeah,
and
2016, 2017.
Come
was
on.
Yeah.
They just every other week they're just handing out titles, man.
Yeah, so we agree about that. Since we're still at pro wrestling, you want to do match of the year for pro wrestling?
We'll do match of the
WWE?
year.
Yeah, since we're still in the WWE.
To be honest with you, it would definitely had to have been an NXT match.
Yes, and when we say WWE, we mean every brand. 205, NXT. You know, we don't want to subdivide because then that'll take a long time.
I think the one that stood out for me the most, and it's probably the one that we actually saw in person,
yes,
which
live.
is in Brooklyn. NXT's Takeover. When we saw for the North American Championship, we saw
that's basically a summary.
Adam Cole versus Ricochet. Look at that. How is that not match of the year? Just look at that.
Yeah, that's
WWE
WWE
the
match
boot to
of the
the
year.
face there.
The back of the face too. Back of the head, whatever.
So
yeah,
Adam Cole, Ricochet. Here you go.
There you go. Both of you share the title. The belt. I mean the trophy.
For pro wrestling match.
So yeah. Like I said, we were there. We love that match. It was so good. Obviously, other contenders was another NXT match, Ciampa versus Gargano. We could even argue Takeover War Games 2. I was just bonkers to say at least. But obviously, NXT takes the cake with this one. They, especially for Takeover events, they always provide great matches. But yeah, is that all for WWE Pro Wrestling?
I think so.
So UFC, we have a couple awards. Obviously, we have
UFC,
MMA. Sorry, MMA. Yeah.
Yeah, for MMA, we have the same 3 awards.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, match of the year, women's match, woman, and then male. Yeah, male, female, fight of the year, and then obviously match of the year.
For male fighter of the year, MMA for the Bum Award.
Yes,
it's pretty obvious.
Yes,
a man who fought 3 times this year, a man who
carries himself well for the sport.
Yeah, the one and only.
Who also loves pro wrestling too? Just for the fact.
The current heavyweight champion,
Daniel
Cormier.
DC Cormier, like Dana White is Cormier. Yeah,
he
Cormier
is the heavyweight champion. He is a former
UFC light heavyweight champion.
He was champ. He became that when he defeated arguably one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Stipe Miocic, at UFC 26.
Mm-hmm.
He also defended the light heavyweight title back in January, which was one of the best cards, to UFC 220 against Volkan Ozdemir.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also had to defend his heavyweight title at UFC 230 in MSG against Derek Lewis,
the Black Beast.
And he had an incredible year. Yeah, ESPN gave it to him, and I could not agree more.
Yeah, I'm sure most media outlets.
Other nominees are Herbie Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I mean, when I think about it, those are probably the only 2. If Brian would have probably won a belt, probably a contender for it, probably. Yeah. But I think that probably runs the tail for most males. If Whitaker would have fought one more time, maybe he could have also been a contender this year. Obviously, Whitaker's just another machine.
Tyrone also
fought once. He fought once this year, yeah.
But he silences a lot of people with that win.
Yeah, I think we had some more contenders for the male.
But it was just so clear.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
So clear that DC should win. So congratulations, DC. Here's your award.
Bone Award.
Congrats.
There you go. And now to the female, the opposite side, which just like the male, this is a no-brainer. It was obviously decided last minute too because the match happened this weekend. She is the first ever champ in MMA professional.
It's so obvious. Congratulations, Amanda Nunes. Doing incredible things, not only defending your 135-pound title, but also in your home country at UFC 224, which is the lowest grossing pay-per-view of the year at 85,000 pay-per-view buys, which is terrible.
And I think Vito
Belfort. But hey, it's better than Liddell Ortiz 3. You know how much that had?
30,000, you said?
That's horrible.
25?
30,000 pay-per-view buys. God. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Oh my god.
We thought about buying it, but there was no more sales. But
no
whatever.
Way. So
yeah, I mean that was pretty obvious. Because like I said, if that match didn't happen, this past Saturday, it'll be hard to pick Woman Fight of the Year because like there wasn't any kind of dominant fights at all.
I think the winner of that fight would have been Woman of the Year.
That too, and if that match didn't happen this year, just say for whatever reason, it probably would have been the winner Valentina versus Joanna. Probably. If this match Cyborg and Nunes didn't happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like I said, but besides that, yeah, probably those. That's it.
Joanna's also definitely another contender there.
Always.
I mean, Valentina.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, we
when's the strawweight fighting? She hasn't fought since in April, bro. Since she retained.
Oh, she hasn't, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she'll fight soon. Maybe the first quarter. But yeah, and then just like the pro wrestling, we have match of the year.
Yeah,
which is also
pro wrestling.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like pro wrestling, which is also kind of recent. It was last month at the 25th anniversary of UFC, and mind you, UFC has a lot of matches. You know, there's some matches we forgot about, but this is the most recent that comes to my head. And
this was a crazy moment, but it was just what a fight.
La Pantera versus the Korean Zombie, literally last second. Elbow.
Well, I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe that. I mean,
because like I said, UFC
was it a crazy fight, or was just the ending crazy?
Well, no, the comeback. I think the comeback because
he was down.
Korean dominated him and everything. You know, he did his bicycle kicks all the time. You know, for sure.
He landed some too.
Yeah, so
he was down in the card. Yeah, and then he literally stole it in the last half a second. Not even second, last half a second.
Another good match earlier this year was Barboza versus Kevin Lee. How Barboza had Kevin Lee like almost knocked out. He was walking drunk, and that was another one.
I think number 2 without a doubt is Whitaker Romero 3. I was going insane.
2. Right?
Two. I was going crazy.
The June card, I wasn't here yet. Yeah.
I was insane. I'm like, that last round, not to me. I don't know, man. It's either one of those two, and I love Robert Whitaker. But Yair Rodriguez, congratulations.
La Pantera,
Korean Zombie. There you go.
Yeah, both. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So that's MMA Fight of the Year. Quickly over to boxing, which is basically decided by me.
Also 3 awards: male, female, and match of the year.
Female, ESPN gave it to the only person that they should give it to, and I completely agree. The one and only 8-0 Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields, yes.
She fought 4 times this year. She's also a unified champion in 2 divisions. I don't think she's undisputed, but she fought 4. She's
fought 4 times. She fought on the last HBO card too, I believe, right?
Yeah. So I mean, without a doubt, Clarissa Shields. She's actually one of Chris Cyborg's sparring partners.
Oh, get out!
She's incredible.
All right. Okay. So that's a female.
Yeah. Male fight of the year. Completely agree with with ESPN. The one and only
unified
Alexander Usyk,
unified cruiserweight champion.
Who he started because since he was in a tournament, he started the year out with 1 title.
Okay.
And his next match, he unified. He
got 2.
He got 2 titles, and his third fight of the year. No, I think his second fight of the year. Because the first fight he unified. Second fight, which was the one in July, I think he fought 3 times.
Yeah.
He became undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world. He won the World Boxing Super Series, the Muhammad Ali Trophy, and $10 million. And then on top of that, not only that, he defends his title in like one of the biggest names in like the cruiserweight recent history, and he retires him. Like, how do you like?
Yeah.
That guy. I remember Anthony. You know what gets me crazy? Like Anthony Joshua goes like at 21 fights, I have 3 belts. Who in boxing has done that? I'm like, okay, Alexander Usyk at 15 fights unified a whole division.
Yep.
Insane. I mean, obviously in 2019 he's going into heavyweight. There's nothing. Literally after Tony Bellew, there's nothing doing that.
Cruiserweight.
Yeah. Because nothing to do. So he's going to heavyweight. So I'm super excited. He's co-promoted by Matchroom, so I'm just super excited. Matchroom. That's another category we should have done. Who wins Promoter of the Year?
I guess our boxing could do it. I mean,
yeah. So, anyways, Alexander Usyk, congratulate. Like, well deserved. You get a little Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
This is your award.
Little trophy.
Congratulations. By far. Now the last category, Fight of the Year. Fight of the Year. The 2 candidates involved 1 person, and that was Deontay Wilder. Yes. I gave it to Wilder Ortiz because because in that match, it ended in the 11th round. But Wilder.
That was back like in March, April, right?
Yeah, the last weekend of March, I think. The same night as the Brian Ortega fight against Frankie.
Oh, okay, yeah, like March 19th. Yeah, something, yeah.
That's you know why? Because that fight was not only so back and forth, but Wilder came this close to being finished.
Oof.
Being beaten. That was just that fight had me screaming. I was at a friend's house. I'm like, Brendan Schwab was going crazy on Twitter. He said that was the best heavyweight fight he's seen in years.
Uh-huh.
It was crazy. To me, that gets fight of the year. Strong contenders was Wilder's other fight.
Past couple weeks ago. Against
Wilder, he definitely gets round of the year. I mean, if that's not an award we're doing for the 12th round
when he knocked him out,
and then he came back from the dead. But Deontay Wilder and
Luis Ortiz.
Here's your award. Congratulations on a great fight. And yeah, I mean, the Parker and Joshua fight was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of it was messed up by they had a really weird ref that didn't let him fight.
Yeah.
I think maybe another one might be White and Parker. Was when like this guy was dominating him in the whole fight, and then at the end of the last round, White like dies out of air, and he almost that was another like a contender. But yeah, Deontay Wilder and Ortiz.
That was a good match. Yeah, I remember that match.
Who's your promoter of the year for MMA?
I'm gonna go with Dana White.
Congratulations, Dana.
Yeah.
You got the game on lock.
Here you do have the game on lock. That's why no one competes against you.
Here you go.
There you go.
I think promoter of the year for boxing is pretty simple.
Yeah, Eddie Hearn.
I think he
dominates the game.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
You've
done so much for the sport.
Eddie Hearn and Dana White should co-promote an event.
They should definitely co-promote. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, they should definitely. Dana White.
Eddie said when he was talking with Ari, who was Paradigm
manager?
Sports, when he was out there, he was like, "Hey, I'd love to help you out with the McGregor Malignaggi fight." So hey, I don't know. And then Ari was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, why not?
We'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about for pro wrestling?
Promoter of the year?
I feel like did WWE have a crazy year? Did they have a 2016 year?
I don't think so. No,
I don't know, because the WrestleMania wasn't even that great.
Yeah, New Japan's definitely barking up in their little cushion. They're barking up. Obviously with the Bullet Club forming their own promotion, All Elite Wrestling. So yeah, competition. I mean, WWE still owns competition.
That's why Vince and his whole family had to step in.
Yeah,
literally into the picture. Like
he was
the last couple weeks.
Yeah. He announced John Cena's both on SmackDown and Raw. There's going to be a Women's Tag Team Championship, so he needs to innovate stuff because New Japan is clearly barking at their heels.
Easily, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, they won't take over WWE, but they're just clipping them by the heels right now. But yeah, I think that's all for today. It was a recap of 28th edition of Bumtalk.
How'd you like 2018 for MMA?
Better than last year.
Really?
Yeah, 2017 for me was like a big letdown because I watched a lot of fight nights in Colombia last year. I didn't catch pay-per-views. But
really?
I prefer 2018. Yeah, I mean, even though it started out strong.
Yeah, because I remember compared to MMA, boxing had a ridiculously last year.
Yeah.
How they do this year? They did good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, they did good. I mean, maybe a little bit better last year, but they did pretty good. Did MMA have a better year this year?
Overall?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. With champs and everything, Bellator hosted up the game in general. Won championship, got fighters, So yeah, I think overall the sport of MMA is growing. You heard in, I think it was Undisputed, they asked Dana White, can UFC take over football? I don't think so, but it's definitely growing.
Now that you have to pay so much.
Yeah, there's room to grow, obviously, for UFC. There always is, and I think this whole UFC on ESPN era is definitely gonna, move into the right direction. So yeah, I think MMA is growing just in general. The interest growing. They had their first card in Chile, I think, right? And Argentina, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they want to expand the market. I know I read an article last year that eventually want to expand to Ecuador and Colombia. So slowly, the UFC will take over, I think. Obviously they have a big market in Mexico and Brazil. So that's pretty much it. But yeah, everything's growing. WWE's growing again. New Japan's growing again. They're all growing. Ring of Honor's growing. They're all co-promoting each other. So 2019 will be a big year in general.
2018, I think WWE said that WWE didn't really have a good year.
Yeah, it was all right. It was good, but
we're looking into 2019. UFC's already doing some really good stuff.
Yeah, you saw the first half basically scheduled till June. So
Wow.
Yeah, they showed.
And not just that, PBC with them on Fox.
Yeah, you have
and not just that, pay-per-view.
Fox.
Pacquiao versus Broner.
Yep.
We have Spence versus Mikey.
Thurman versus who was it?
That's 26. Thurman versus Josecito Lopez.
Yeah.
That's on Fox.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big month for late January, early February. Then you have
Gervonta is back.
Gervonta. Yeah. February 26th, Royal Rumble. 25th is Takeover at Phoenix. So it's gonna be exciting.
It's that weekend.
Yeah, the last weekend of January is Takeover. It's Takeover and Royal Rumble. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the
It'll be a big weekend.
That's the UFC, and that's also
No, UFC's 19.
Right. And that's and then that's only against Thurman and Lopez.
Which will be okay because Royal Rumble's
on Fox.
Royal Rumble's on Sunday.
Yeah, so they'll be competing against
Yeah, so it won't have direct competition.
So that'll probably be the biggest thing coming up into 2019, and then
because the first 2 weeks are pretty quiet.
See what happens with Conor and McGregor and Habib.
Yeah.
See what happens with Cormier and Jones. Eager to see what happens with
Brock Lesnar
the rest
too.
of the Brock Lesnar's in both promotions.
The flyweight division.
Sports. See what happens there. Combat sports looking good. Maybe Floyd is going to do something stupid again, like he did today. We never know.
The status of the flyweight division after January 19. We'll see what happens. So yeah,
you saw what Dan Rayfield tweeted?
What?
He was like, Floyd is 52-0. He goes like, because he beat this kid and he beat the Big Show a couple years back.
Yeah, back
Dan
in
Rayfield,
like 07, 08.
That bullshit. But yeah.
All right, fellas.
Fun year.
From Danny Bums and Che Bums and a little Kyle Loreno over here. Helping us out.
Happy New Year.
Awards. Happy New Year. We'll be back in a few weeks.
Yeah, thank you to all those this year that have supported us.
Yes. Like, subscribe, whatever it is.
That have watched our videos, that have commented, have subscribed, have liked, and followed us on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you. Got more things planned for next year.
You definitely do.
Stay in tune. Thank you for all subscribers. Everyone enjoys it.
Guys.
Happy New Year. Enjoy tonight. And yeah, we'll see you all in 2019 very soon.
Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.